Did you see the trailer for the new Daily Wire comedy? Oh, you mean this? Lady Ballers? The Daily Wire movie where their conservative hosts dress up like women and then, I don't know, pretend to abuse children? Here, let's take a look.
In a world where women's sports is being transformed, the Daily Wire calls foul with the most triggering comedy of the year.
This meme is very real.
Guys, this is serious. Sports can be your pathway to a better life.
Well, like yours?
Please don't steal my catalytic converter again. Winning matters. It's the key ingredient in becoming a winner.
Now maybe you should try it sometime. Are you gonna move?
I am not.
Let's cut to the chase. I know you're not a woman.
Hey, you know how he identifies.
If you can beat them,
What do you know about the U.S. Opens for the Global Games?
You want us to compete as women.
Wow, women. Guys, women's just, they just like, have you ever thought about how they just kind of suck at everything? Look at
For the
that.
Global Games.
Look at that. They just suck at everything. They literally can't do anything. And that's why they need big, strong men to protect them from other men. Because, like, if not, what would women have in this world? The answer is nothing. Unless we give it to them. So, if you think about it, the conservatives are doing those girls a favor out there. Terrible shot put for them. Well, they are women. What do you expect from them, right? Like, they can't throw a shot put like that. This is how they defend women's sports? Yeah, I guess, but like, they never actually cared about women or women's sports. They actively make fun of women's sports. None of them watch women's sports. None of them care about women's sports. They just they've never cared about women's sports. What they care about is controlling women. Like when is the Daily Wire ever like donated to the women's sports around the country, or like donate to stop like women from being abused in women's sports by their coaches and whatnot, you know, or like donating to them having better equipment and stuff like that, advocated for them on like a campus level for their sports to be taken more seriously than like the boys sideshow event where the women try to attempt to do what the guys do, but like way worse because they're women, right? Women's sports was always a made up issue by cons. Well, in trans people in women's sports is a made up issue by cons. There's a lot of problems with women's sports, like abuse, sexual exploitation, derogatory rhetoric and attitudes and confrontations against them. You know, there's a bunch of stuff that women have to go through in women's sports. And just generally not being taken seriously, right? Like some of the biggest clips about women's sports out there on YouTube are just, have you seen them before? Have they ever popped up in your YouTube recommended? It's just basically a picture of a gymnast ass in her really tight gymnast shorts. And it's just like, whoa, the best gym shots of like the best fucking gymnasts, the 2023 like regionals or whatever, right? And that's just it. And like all the comments are, damn, I wish she would grab a hold of my bar, as this girl is literally like working her entire life to be able to do things that none of these people would ever be able to even think about doing when it comes to gymnastics. But she's only even recognized when it comes to her body, and she's never taken seriously. Oh yeah, like those volleyball clips. Yeah, volleyball girls, right? It's crazy. Yeah, their only concern about women's sports is being able to sexualize the athletes. And outside of that, the athletes aren't anything important to even think about.
Want us to compete as women. $5,000 prizes.
My lover says you were a great coach back in the day.
join
Huh? Oh, that's Walsh.
Says you were a great coach back in the day.
Nice one. Oh, is this him cosplaying as a liberal?
Great coach back in the day.
join
This is the way the world is now. My 8-year-old daughter told me all about it. So a guy can become a girl with no physical changes at all.
Oh, that's called gender fluid.
So I can be a woman on the court and a man in the bedroom. I can't believe it. Nice.
You mean when you're sleeping?
Yes.
Coach, Alex, we could play basketball.
We have to get the whole team back together.
it's time
We're in.
I'm in.
I'm in.
to play
Lady Ballers. Mount up.
like a girl.
Guess what? I'm with her.
Dude, he said I'm with her as he did a layup. This is crazy. They should write about this in textbooks. I want this to be remembered. This is so good, honestly. Why are the wigs so cheap? Because that's what like trans people look like. You ever seen a trans people before? It's just like wig. It's just like wig, honestly. It's just like cheap wig. So JP is the coach? No, that's Jeremy. Well, it's not JP, it's JB. That's Jeremy Boring, the co-CEO, co-founder of the Daily Wire. He's behind the scenes a lot of the time. 2000s ass shitty straight to DVD comedy. Yeah, it's like a really bad straight to DVD comedy that nobody thinks about. And I mean, it's not even straight to DVD because it's straight to Daily Wire. It's straight to their like streaming service, and that's like literally it. Great job, Double Dragon against Walsh with Gunter. Yeah, appreciate you. Thank you. It was super fun. I have to go there more. I need more experience, but you know, there's always room to be better. You're playing Matt Walsh's love interest. Can I quit? Can I get out of here? Can you imagine like actual actors who are like, man, this sounds like it'd be so cool. Who are like, oh man, finally I'm gonna have a break to be able to work on a project, and then they go, so you're going to be Matt Walsh's lover as you pretend to be a trans person. And okay.
Like a girl.
Guess what? I'm with her. Believe in my truth. This is my truth.
Heroes
Day one of being a girl athlete. I love being a girl.
to sheroes.
We could dominate every woman's sport. Running, swimming, soccer. I said sport, Felix.
Oh man, this is really gonna go super well with a non-US audience. Yes. Soccer sport. Oh, those fucking field fairies. Oh, real sport. Oh, that's hilarious, bro. They rolled. Fuck you, rolled. Oh, fuck soccer. So true. It's crazy how in like a lot of women play soccer. A lot of women out of all the sports, I think soccer has one of the largest, female populations of athletes. You know, my little sister played soccer, and they honestly, in their movie about trying to satirize the quote unquote left's destruction of women's sports, they still have to shit on women and the sports that they play. They actually can't not do it. They have to shit on things women do. It's just what they believe. They just think that the left's doing it in a bad way, I guess.
It's ladies basketball, boys. Nobody watches.
Oh, they're just, yeah, okay. We hate women. We do actually hate women's sport. They just want to let you know that, listen, I know we're getting on the trans people, but this is just about trans people. We really don't care about women's sports. Let's not get it confused to let you think that we care about what we don't. We don't care about women's. We never have, actually.
I said sport, Felix. It's ladies basketball, boys. Nobody watches.
Excuse me. Are these seats open?
They got Ted Cruz. Yeah, this guy doesn't belong in Congress. This guy doesn't belong in Congress.
Never mind.
Getting dunks. And tucking trunks.
Huh?
No, she didn't. That's the biggest.
What? Okay. All right. Also, is this is this the girl who looks like Ben Shapiro? Is this Femme Shapiro here? This is Femme Shapiro, right? Yeah. That shit's crazy. That's insane. Yeah, I didn't know Ben was in this. Of course. Live from Nashville. Live from Nashville. Yeah, man. Okay. There it is. It's been here the whole time. I'm gonna be real with you. This is middle school trash humor. I'm telling you, this is why I wanted to do a segment on conservative comedy and specifically conservative satire soon. But the thing is, when it comes to satire, you have to be smart to be able to do satire. That's something that you really don't, that a lot of people don't really get, and why a lot of satire communities, especially on Reddit, fall apart to just the people who actually believe the things that they're supposed to be satirizing fall into. Like Gamers Rise Up. Gamers Rise Up, like r/Gamers Rise Up was supposed to be satirizing people who supposed to believe the whole Gamers Rise Up thing. Instead, or like the game oppressed gamers, right? That's what it's supposed to be, but instead they just did the thing because they actually just believe it. They just started saying the things they actually believe because they started attracting people that genuinely believe that stuff because it wasn't well moderated, and because they just weren't smart enough to be able to distinguish satire from somebody just saying something outright but trying to say it in the form of a joke instead. And so the reason why a lot of conservative satire simply doesn't work is a couple reasons. But I feel like one of the biggest is because they just simply don't understand what they're supposed to be satirizing. That's like a big thing that comes with it, is like you have to be able to understand what you're satirizing. Who's saying that you just put on a wig and then go on to to a basketball court? Who says this? Who does that? What are you supposed to be satirizing here? It's not what they're you're so right. They're confusing satire with straw man. A satire is not only supposed to make you laugh, but it's supposed to go you're supposed to go so true when you say it. You know, that's supposed to be the point with it. It's supposed to be able to show some truth by absurdly displaying something that somebody genuinely believes. But here they're talking about something that like literally nobody believes, while also trying to play it off as satire, when it just comes off as them just using their own imagination to be like, aren't these guys so crazy, while sticking it to no one. And on top of that, like, a lot of comedy is really funny when it's punching up at people with more power by trying to take them down a peg a little bit, or doing a little bit of comedy in that way. Conservatives just punch down at like minorities and women. Those are their subjects, because instead of them doing comedy for the sense of bringing people together, they do comedy and satire to ridicule. That's their whole point. Because at the end of the day, their comedy has a sort of like fuck you at the end of it, right? It's not supposed to be fun or lighthearted. Their comedy is always supposed to be a serious, just so you know, we don't like you type thing. And this is right after their like, this is like one of their big film right after what? Their school shooter film that they made. It's comedy, but not for you. I find it hard to even call it comedy, not because I disagree with it, but because it's simply just dick sucking. That's what it is. They're performing autofellatio. They've turned their mouth into the Auto Blow 3000, and they're going crazy on their own dick. And that's just what this is. Die hard at school. Now, a satire of this cringe would be hilarious. Now, if this was supposed to be targeted towards conservatives, satirizing the conservative idea of what they think is happening in women's sports, that would be really funny, actually.
That's the biggest I've ever seen on a lady.
I don't care.
What?
Lady Ballers.
One can even be trans age now, which provides Sheelix with a wonderful opportunity to relive all the experiences that she missed out on in school.
Streaming exclusively on Daily Wire Plus December 1st.
Okay. Yo, look at this comment section, dude. Featuring Riley Gaines. Yeah, that makes sense. It took balls to make this. I cut my dick off to be in this. You better go see it. This movie could have been released in theaters in 2005, and everybody would have laughed at 1, how silly, and 2, how unrealistic, and 3, how immoral something like this would be. Yet somehow it became our reality. Yeah, this is why conservative humor isn't funny. Because they actually just believe the thing that they're talking about. They're just it's not satire. They're just talking. Being the bar, dude, just like direct to DVD. Nobody would ever see this, man. But then they would call that anti-conservative bias if nobody went to go watch it. In 2005, 90% of people didn't even know what a trans person was, and most people didn't really care that much. For the people who did know what a trans person was, they just didn't care that much. They can't distinguish between reality and fiction, because comedy's supposed to have a level of fiction to it, but they all just believe they live in the fiction. So they're trying to satirize in like the opposite direction. They're pulling from their false reality. It's weird. Blue checks love it. Of course they all do. This is amazing. Babylon Bee has taught us that part of reaching the culture is knowing how to use humor and to make important points on morality. Yeah, man. Babylon Bee has really reached the culture, haven't they? They really reached the culture right here. Oh, sorry. I didn't see you there. If you're enjoying the content, hit the subscribe button. If you don't, it'll make Boo very sad. I know a bunch of you who are watching are not subscribed. Join the frenzy. You won't regret it. Thank you, Boo.